It's the mind behind the curtain with your hosts, Alex and Jose.
Yeah.
What's up? Woo! Woo!
What's up, brother?
We're back.
Back.
Long time.
Woo, woo, woo. Welcome back to another episode
Of the mind behind the curtain.
That's right, baby.
Yes.
Welcome all for another episode.
And this episode you're gonna like.
It's a good one, man. And we're going to be talking about our leader here in Canada, man. Justin Trudeau. Let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into this. All right. So we
let's do our disclaimer first.
Next question. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's do our disclaimer first, because we want to make sure everyone out there understands that these are our experiences, what we hear, what we see, and we're disclaiming we're not professionals. We're not trying to push you guys to a narrative or anything like some people are doing.
And just from my own perspective, like, I am not a right or a left. I am not one of those guys that is like, I am a liberal, I'm a conservative, because
he doesn't vote.
Because at the end of the day, you know, like, we're a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? In this country, we have a little bit of communism,
socialism,
capitalism, a little bit of everything. We're all a mix.
Yeah.
But again, like Jose says, please, by all means,
do your own research.
Don't believe everything we say. Don't take it to heart. But, you know, stay curious. Because
don't commit suicide or anything because
we open up the curtain. Yeah, don't do that. Well, let's get right into it, man. Let's watch Trudeau and his delivery when he gets asked certain questions, and let's see if he's
just listen and see if you guys catch what he's really about.
And you have your mic on, bro?
Should be on.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Next question.
During the public inquiry into the Emergencies Act, one of the responses you gave was really detailed and walked Canadians through what you were thinking before you made a big decision. So I was wondering if you could take that same approach to this question and tell us why you decided to appoint David Johnston. Did you consider this perceived conflict of interest?
Right now, a lot of Canadians have very, very real questions that are really, really fundamental. First of all, is our democracy still working?
All right.
Oh, hold on.
Jose, let me ask you a question. Jose,
please do.
Did you actually put out a podcast talking about aliens and an alien invasion that was going to be happening in the future? Did you talk about that?
Well, to answer that question, we have to put Canadians first. I think it's incredibly important at this time that we support Ukraine, because the COVID-19 is already so-called at its end period, but the pandemic is still liable for us to wear masks.
Okay, so did you talk about an alien invasion happening in the future or not? Please answer the question.
I'm getting to there.
Okay, so just like as a typical politician, he takes you out for a ride, right? And then the other thing too is that, man, when somebody says, really, really, really? I just don't trust that guy.
No.
I don't trust that guy. Should we watch a little more of this? Or cap it right there?
A little bit. Give a little bit more.
Are institutions still acting in the best interests of Canadians, or are they being influenced by everything we know that foreign countries from Russia to China to others are trying to do to destabilize us?
Whoa.
Okay. So once again, he is running around the bush, misdirection, whatever you want to call it.
Putting the blame somewhere else.
Exactly. Or putting something somewhere else. Because he's not answering the question.
Apparently now we're being attacked by other countries and shit.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Maybe those are the the balloons
It could be.
and he shot them down?
The mother chip that's up there dropping off some drones.
Oh, yeah, it could be that too.
Well, I mean, okay, so this guy is not the best, politician I believe that we've ever had, man.
Well, first, O'Toole, he actually, is it O'Toole? O'Leary. O'Leary, sorry. O'Leary
the
said.
guy that he's fighting against, or something?
No.
Oh,
O'Leary is a billionaire for everybody.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
on Shark Tank.
the Shark Tank guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he is the worst manager ever
Yeah.
that Canada has had ever.
And that brings up the point that when an entrepreneur that is a billionaire uses those kind of words, bro, like he's a manager, that leads to us realizing or actually making the point that this country, it's a business.
It's a corporation.
It's a corporation, man. And we're all employees to this great nation. Call us civilians, call us citizens, whatever. We need to work in order to create human value.
He's not the leader. He's the CEO. He might be just a manager, actually. Maybe there's another CEO we don't even know of that's pulling the strings.
But he's got access to our money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing all these deals with these other countries because obviously he's in the forefront and he's at a global stage now to make decisions like, sending out money to Ukraine, endless amount of money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's a lot of corruption in there, but we're not going to get so much into that.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
But for example, let's talk about how he invoked the freaking Emergency Act.
Woo-wee.
Right?
Let's do that.
And was it necessary? Right? So Trudeau, he invoked the Emergency Act in order to keep the protesters at bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
During what happened at the Parliament.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there was where am I? Okay, so basically
Misdirection, people.
Yeah, why was Trudeau's use of the Emergency Act justified during convoy protests? Well, the reason being is that our great leader decided that Canada was in a crisis.
Exactly, a crisis. Well, kind of like that. Basically, what he wanted to do is justify everything that he's done before that, prior, especially taking away the guns from the citizens.
That's right.
Right?
Before all of that happened, it almost seems like a setup. And everything right now that we're going to talk about, it seems like everything was set up. Like we even, from a conspiracy side, we even talked about some rogue agents or some special agents that worked for the Canadian government being part of this convoy.
Exactly.
And provoking and actually manifesting and using propaganda to help, drive the truckers towards the Parliament office in Ottawa.
Well, not only that, but to cause confusion or chaos, or as they put it here, they wanted to use, what was it?
Yeah, here, I'll read it out to you. So the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has invoked the Emergency Act in an effort to quell the protests by truckers and other groups opposed to measures aimed at preventing the spread of COVID-19. So what they weren't worried about the building catching on fire.
No.
They weren't worried about people getting hurt.
No.
They weren't worried about like people raising arms because apparently they took all those weapons from the Canadian civilians. Anyway, so they weren't worried about people using any force with weapons. But they were worried more about the spread of COVID-19. So they're like, hey.
And the horns.
Let's put in the horns. Let's put our money. Let's put our hands into the cookie jar and let's invoke the freaking Emergency Act. Let's get some money out.
Yep.
And they took out billions, bro.
Yep.
So give us the definition of
quail.
Quail.
Well, basically, it's to put an end to a rebellion or disorder, typically by using force, extra police, military, as we saw in Ottawa.
That's right.
And also, it's because there's a disturbance.
That's right.
That is happening.
And to me, the disturbance, mostly came from the police that was there. They used force. They used like horses. They trampled over these protesters, man. And the thing is that some of this footage was being broadcasted over in India, and some of these reporters in India were like saying, how could Trudeau contradict himself when he was actually supporting us when we were protesting,
when they were protesting,
when all the farmers were protesting, and the military and the police used force against them, and he's like, we don't stand for that.
We won't stand for that.
In our country, we would never do that.
We will never, but
check out the footage.
I will do it now.
And most of the stuff was unnecessary. Like, look, all these horses and stuff that they use in the back, and they were trampling on people. Some people went to the hospital, man.
Yeah, like that woman that got hit by the horse and trampled.
Yeah. And I mean, these things didn't need to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people were provoked to go to the parliament, and they were actually, I think they were manipulated at one.
Totally manipulated.
At a certain level, they were manipulated to believe that this was a righteous cause, and it became a cause for freedom, right?
Now, I like to point out a thing as well that happened in Ottawa. Near the border, they found a truck or a van full of weapons. So that would justify what Trudeau did before the actual Emergency Act took place. That means that it shows that, yes, I should be taking away your weapons because look what could have happened if we didn't catch that van. There might have been violence with weapons, right?
And Canadians.
So it was a setup.
It was a setup. It all seems like a setup, and I don't think Canadians would go to that extent to actually raise arms against other Canadians. I mean, we still are holding on to that passive, peaceful mentality and way of living here in Canada.
The only unpeaceful thing about this whole Ottawa protest was the honking of the horns in the big trucks.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, and talking about the trucks, not all truck drivers or truckers were stopped at the border. There were so many other trucks coming in, especially the ones that carry all the stuff for like the Walmarts, the Costco's. You know, like, come on.
I know.
You know, the IKEAs and all that stuff. Like, they were still coming in. They were
all
still
American.
Mostly American, man.
Yeah. All American corporations.
And they weren't even asked. And then all of a sudden they started backpedaling, saying, because the truth came out that, some of these truckers weren't even asked for proof of vaccination.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, we never really asked for it.
Yeah.
We never really made a law or passed a law.
BS, because it was on all media. Even in the US, it was in their media stating what Trudeau said about the vaccinations for these truckers.
That's right. And then we watched the whole protest manifest into a week, and then 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and it went over for about 21 days.
Yeah,
right?
about
Almost
that.
3 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
When it was over, a lot of people, were held accountable for it.
Went to jail. Supposedly.
Some of their funds were being frozen, and all this stuff was putting out onto the media, and they're like, oh, they're taking our freedoms away. We can't even raise this money. Who knows what happened to that money that they raised? They raised some money in crypto. They raised some money in real cash, and who knows where that money went?
I know. It's,
for all you know, some of these government officials,
and it was in the millions,
pocketing the money, man.
And it was in the millions.
And after that, Litch, she was awarded by the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms. She was selected for the 2022 Jonas Freedom Award for her Freedom Convoy leadership.
Now, people, you have to understand this. When we show you the next part, you're going to be flipping your wig.
She was like kicked out of Ottawa, right? And she wasn't allowed. But then,
and she was in jail.
She was in jail. She was given the award on June 16 in
Ottawa. Now, watch this.
So the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, the JCCF, is a Canadian legal advocacy organization specializing in social conservative approach to the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, right?
Now this tape.
The Libertarian Organization, that means that they are liberals, right? Has partnered with several right-wing backers in the
United States, people,
and pursues legal cases
of social conservative nature.
Now, from a conspiracy side again, bro, I mean, this was all part of the plan. They needed a reason to put their fingers into that cookie jar.
And she was the fall guy.
She could have been
or fall girl.
Fall girl. And so now we see Trudeau, doing all this stuff, and now he's
Backpedaling everything.
and this only gives more ammunition for this guy here.
No,
right?
not him. No, not him. You.
It's giving him this.
There
guy.
we go. This guy,
Paul
Javier.
Right? And he's attacking Trudeau right now and calling out on all the things he did wrong because that's the part of the game. That's part of the freaking show that we're being
misdirection.
Yeah, it's all a theater, man.
And that's what it is. You have to understand, in Parliament, it's theatrical. It's a stage. You look at them, you listen to them, and guess what? We're paying for all of that with our taxpayers' money.
That's right.
They get paid to look like actors, be actors, and it's a
to
clown.
Look like politicians that are acting.
Exactly.
Acting.
And it's a clown show and a circus.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of the things they do, I mean, yes, they do pass some laws and they do, put some money back into the communities and into social services and all that stuff.
Come on. Come on, man.
But a lot of money goes out too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
look at
Ukraine. Ukraine, yeah.
Like Ukraine, millions and millions and millions, and then tanks.
And obviously, there's got to be some interest in Ukraine or Ukraine, or there's got to be some
natural
Canadian
resources,
investments are there,
and it's the next Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that's right, man. So let's watch how Trudeau delivers this. And I mean, again, worst actor ever.
Oh my goodness, here we go.
He's hoping that if he attacks our institutions with a flamethrower, maybe he's going to be able to win. Well, that sounds like a really great way of making sure that all Canadians lose. We need to stand up for our institutions. We need to reassure Canadians that everything has been done and will be done to make sure
I had enough.
they are focused on serving Canadians.
That should be right there, people. That should be right there, because he does not talk for the Canadians. He's talking for his own legacy, his family's legacy, and his own personal interests. That's what he's speaking on.
Yeah. And, again, his delivery sucks. His delivery, to me...
That's the worst actor in history.
It's not coming off sincere, even if he's trying, and using words like, he's using a flamethrower. Basically, I'm going to burn in hell,
Yeah.
And we all... And then he makes us part of this burning in hell process, because he's like, we Canadians are being attacked by this guy, and again, goes back to separating... liberals, conservatives, MDP,
calling confusion within the people.
Don't vote with this guy because he's going to use his flamethrower, and he's not there for the best interest of you, because we have institutions that are at risk right now,
causing division once again, folks.
And it's just part of the show, man.
It is
part of the show.
Enjoy the show.
Well, that concludes our episode on the big show.
The big show.
That we're all part of it. And you know what, man? We all got to be part of it, bro. So we encourage you to be an actor.
And just hold on. Just remember, JT and PP, Javier, they're all in it together.
That's right.
Okay, folks? That's what this whole metaphor, or whatever they use, we all got to be in it together.
Yeah.
In the beginning of COVID, right. That's what it means. They're all in it together. They're clinking them champagne, glass. When they're behind closed doors, they're making them deals together. They're saying, we did a great job today to confuse them. Yeah, you sounded really good there, Trudeau. Yeah, well, you sounded really good too, Javier. Wow, let's go to the strip club.
Yeah, private strip club. All right, that concludes this episode of The Mind Behind the Curtain. Out.
Welcome back to another episode of The Mind Behind the Curtain. Yeah, baby, and this is Rant Sessions. What rants you got? What rants you got? Rants.